ridges, and then, geez, maybe somebody here knows the fella. A guy did some experimental casting, and I'm going to talk a little later about pouring plaster. If your plaster is a little thick and it's running slowly, you make ridges. Oh, so yeah, and so he said, no, this is an artifact, and it was curious because we always wondered what. This makes no sense compared to, you know, no, don't photograph it. Okay. because it's wrong. I mean, these are not dermal, the ridges, but they're not dermal ridges, but that mistake was made. So the whole idea of dermal ridges is kind of tricky, like, I'm thinking like Jimmy Chilcott, the fellow he's been working with Jeff Rosen for a while. He said, you know, some of Rosen's stuff, where there's dermal ridges up here, he thinks someone, either intentionally or accidentally, pressed a thumb, we got a human dermal ridge, but there are others that seem to be valid. But it just that it's maybe not quite as straightforward as we think, and it's a little tricky. But no, we might have had them when we cast these, although I doubt it, because it wasn't a real fine silk. It was more likely this guy would have got them, but he was like, well, I'll talk about it later, but you know, you pour you got your track, so you got your track in the mud, you pour your plaster, you let it set, you know, eventually you dig it out, and he was so keen to see his tracks. He took them home, he washed them off, he got a scrub brush. So I mean, he really scoured them. And these are copies. So if there were ridges, that they were lost. And in the case of ours, we were on a school hike. Joan is here, but we were on a school hike as kind of chaperones. And you know, 7 schoolgirls and the teacher, they all go across this muddy spot. And the last, we're at the end. We're picking up sleeping bags and things that are falling off packs. Anyway, the glass girl said, "Oh, what's that track?" And it was one just like this. It got stepped in later. But anyway, oh, Sasquatch, first one. Isn't that great? Well, I wanted to go home and it was very fresh and get plaster and stuff. But we were committed to going in with this group, overnighting, coming out the next day, and we went back the third day. And, well, that track had got stepped in, not much left of it. This one got stepped in also, but still remained a really good one.
So that's a human.
That's a boot print, yeah. So that's an artifact.
Is that one of the pushback ridges from where they?
No, that's Bob Titmus's, and I don't have the other one, but John Green has suggested this one. If you look at the mate to this one, it shows these pads, which is kind of interesting. Like, we don't have them much in humans, but apes have them a little more, and monkeys a lot, really prominent fleshy pads, and so that's probably what we're looking at there.
Have you got any of them that show, I mean, in the books, they describe a little pushback ridge where you're sort of shoving off?
No, Jeff Melvin.
Can you get over if not, then we're gonna camp, we're here, we're gonna do one, so we're probably going to shoot.